Hello again, everybody. Thomas here, and welcome back to SFF180, and have a look at the mailbag for Monday the 21st. This is what I like to see, a nice big tall stack of packages in my lap, teetering. I guess, remember after last week's episode, I was kvetching a little bit about the review copy drought that's been going on for most of September. I don't know, it's like the old wives' tale. If you want it to rain, go out and wash your car. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the reviewer's equivalent of washing your car. It's complaining about light review copies and then suddenly you get deluged. But this is like a good, healthy week. So let's see what's in all of these, and who knows, maybe some cool surprises. And of course, the very first one is going to be the finished hardcover copy of the book that I have already read, and which I am already saying is the best book of 2015, at least so far. Going to be hard to top this one, although there's a lot of other excellent stuff out there, but this is my personal pick. The Traitor Baru Cormorant by Seth Dickinson, a tragedy of tragedies in the world of epic fantasy. There are more oh shit moments in the last 40 pages of this book than in any 2 or 3 seasons of Game of Thrones put together, people. I'm not kidding you. But this is now already out in hardcover. It came out last week on the 15th. And let's see. Baru Cormorant? Well, screw it. Just go watch my review. But it is basically about a woman who seeks a position of power in order to, make things right for her people in wake of their conquest by an empire, and the lengths that she is willing to go to in order to achieve this goal, and it can be pretty shocking. Amazing story. I'm going to call it right now. I've been wrong before, but I'm going to say this ends up on all the shortlists, Hugo, Nebula, and World Fantasy, but you are going to be seeing this a lot and hearing a lot of discussion about this book right now, so start with my review of it. But it's out now, The Traitor Baru Cormorant, and this next package also looks like a Tor title. Okay, this actually comes from the Forge imprint. It's called 1 Year After. The author is William R. Fortune. It is the sequel to a book that I don't think I was sent, called 1 Second After. 2 years since the detonation of nuclear weapons above the United States brought America to its knees. After suffering starvation, war, and countless deaths, the survivors of Black Mountain, North Carolina are beginning to piece back together the technologies they had once taken for granted. Electricity, radio communications, and medications. They cling to the hope that a new national government is finally emerging. So you got a post-apocalyptic tale here from William R. Fortune. And this is out. Well, when is it out? Let's see, does it say? Oh, okay. Already out. Last week, September 15th. It looks to be very much a very dude bro-y tale of after the world survival, but this one comes from Random Penguin. Feels like a big chunky hardcover. Or maybe it's more postcards, who knows. And it is not either of those things. It's a little package of 3 paperback releases from the lovely, lovely folks at Angry Robot Books. These are actually titles that are already out. Some of them have been out for a while. But I had been in communication with the publicity team over there at Angry Robot. Terrific people. Told them about Mailbag Monday, which I wasn't sure they were aware of, and told them what I do, and I showcase physical books. I get most of my Angry Robot stuff off of NetGalley. That tends to be how they do it. But I told them about it, and they were like, oh, cool, well, yeah, we'll send you a whole bunch of stuff. And so here is their first package. 3 paperback releases. They are Windswept. This is one of the newest ones. The author is Adam Rakunas. It says, labor organizer Padma Mehta is on the edge of space and the edge of burnout. All she wants is to buy out a little rum distillery and retire. But she's supposed to recruit 500 people to the union before they'll let her. She's only 33 short, so when a small-time con artist tells her 40 people are ready to tumble down the space elevator, she checks it out. Of course, it's all a setup. As Padma should know by now, there are no easy shortcuts on this godforsaken planet. Suddenly, retirement seems farther away than ever. She's just stumbled into a secret corporate mission to stop a plant disease that could wipe out all the industrial sugarcane in occupied space. If she ever wants to, see, never let it be said, there are no original ideas in SF. If she ever wants to have another drink of her favorite windswept rum, now that is a reason to go to war, people. If they're going to cut off your rum supply. She's going to have to fight her way through the city's warehouses and sewage plants and up the elevator itself to stop this new plague. This is Windswept by Adam Rakunas, new writer. And next is The Buried Life by Carrie Patel. This came out a few months ago, and a sequel to it has actually already been released. But it says, the gaslight and shadows of the underground city of Recoleta hide secrets and lies when Inspector Lizel Malone investigates the murder of a renowned historian, she finds herself stonewalled by the all-powerful Directorate of Preservation, Recoletta's top-secret historical research facility. When a second-grade high-profile murder, why did I say second grade? Second high-profile murder threatens the very fabric of city society, Malone and her rookie partner, Rafe Sundar, must tread carefully, lest they fall victim to not only the criminals they seek, but the government which purports to protect them. Okay, so sounds a little bit Gaslamp Fantasy, The Buried Life, and it already has a sequel out too, from Carrie Patel. And finally we have Flex by Ferret Steinmetz. It says it's distilled magic in crystal form, the most dangerous drug in the world. Snort it and you can create incredible coincidences to live the life of your dreams. Flux is the backlash from snorting Flex. The universe hates magic and tries to rebalance the odds. Maybe you survive the horrendous accidents the Flux inflicts, maybe you don't. Paul Sabo is the everyday bureaucramancer, like that, who's turned paperwork into a magical beast that can rewrite rental agreements and track down anyone who's ever filled out a form. But when all of his formulaic magic can't save his injured daughter, Paul must enter the dangerous underground world of Flex dealers to heal her. But he's never strayed from the path before, and the punishment for brewing Flex is army conscription and a total brain wipe. Okay, so this is a real edgy-sounding urban fantasy. It sounds, yeah, it's like an urban fantasy Breaking Bad, basically, and from Ferret Steinmetz. So here we have 3 mass-market paperback originals. This format used to be like the backbone of SF. You know, this is where new SF writers would be discovered, and all the major publishers, you know, Del Rey, Spectra, Bantam Spectra, back when they were a thing. It was all paperback originals and stuff, and now they're, you know, it's hardcovers and trades these days. But I love to see an imprint like Angry Robot still doing this kind of format. It's very important. It's a great way to discover new writers real cheap. And here are 3 books that seem to have more originality going on between them than a whole lot of heavily hyped stuff that's coming out these days. So check these out if you get a chance. And let me know which you would like to see me prioritize in the review queue. Okay, onward. Here's a big fat box from the Hatcheck group. It's so hot in this room, I'm having trouble with this gaff tape as my mic is slipping, so I'm sorry if the audio is very crackly. Hatcheck usually means orbit, but it could mean something else. Let's see. Yes, it's definitely orbit, and this is Ruin by John Gwynne. This is the 3rd and final book, I think final, in the Faithful and the Fallen trilogy. It's a beast. Look how fat this sucker is. We're looking at, well, 750 pages at least. This has already been out in the UK, and I know that some other channels have already read it, been reading this trilogy. Now that I have them all, I'm quite interested in getting into these because they have been getting pretty high marks from some of the other BookTube SFF people who've been checking them out. So, Ruin by John Gwynne, the banished lands are engulfed in chaos and war, etc. So it's that kind of, you know, large-scale, widescreen epic fantasy. Out now, I guess, from Orbit Books. Oh, okay, this is a thick envelope with, again, multiple items in it. So it comes from HarperCollins. And it is a package of 3 lovely hardcovers from HarperCollins' young adult line, Green Willow Books. First of these is a new novel by Ray Carson, very shiny, called Walk on Earth a Stranger. And this apparently goes on sale tomorrow. Leia Westfall has a loving family, a loyal steed, and a tried-and-true best friend, but she also has a secret, one that could tear away everything she holds dear. She can sense gold in the world around her. In streams, deep in the earth, even gold dust caught under a fingernail, and she has spent her whole life fearing what might happen if anyone besides her mother and father found out. This takes place in the like early 1800s, by the way. Nonetheless, Leia's careful use of her gift has gotten the family through the harshest winters, but even the most precious of secrets can't be kept forever. And when Leia's distant Uncle Hiram arrives, bringing about the destruction of the world as she knows it, Leia disguises herself as a young man and flees for California, where gold has been discovered. On Leia's dangerous trek, history comes to life as she faces the hazards of the day, including bandits, stampedes, interracial friendships, and romance, all while keeping the twin secrets of her identity and her magical ability, etc., etc. So, Walk on Earth, a Stranger, it comes out tomorrow in hardcover by Ray Carson. And next in the same package, I was sent this one here. It's called The Unquiet. The author is Michaela Everett. And I did not actually get a sell sheet with this one. I just got this little packing slip thingy. So let's see. Looks a bit horror-y. It says, Oh no, there are 2 Earths, almost identical in every way. 2 copies of every person, every city, every stone or blade of grass, but one Earth is slowly disappearing, person by person, city by city. And they don't plan to go quietly. L'Oreal has been training since she was a child to be a merciless sleeper soldier for her vanishing planet. Her mission is to kill her duplicate on the other Earth and slip seamlessly into her life. That sounds kind of like, the Mirror Empire. By Cameron Hurley, where the 2 alternate worlds exist, but your duplicate on the other one can't be alive if you want to cross over. Anyway, the family never even suspects they're living with an imposter. She is the perfect soldier, so this girl has gone stealth on the other world. But the wait for the final order to rise up and take over the planet is long. By the time it comes, will L'Oreal still be willing to destroy everyone who has ever loved her? Moral quandary there. The Unquiet. Green Willow Press, new young adult Counter-Earth adventure. And finally, the 3rd book in that packet is a book called Mirrored. The author is Alex Flynn. And again, no actual sell sheets, so I'm going to have to read the jacket flap. But as you see, it's a lovely girl, redhead, ginger, admiring herself in the mirror, where she's a brunette, and she's probably going, what the hell? I'm going to sue my stylist. But no, it says, beauty is the key to everything. At least that's how it seems to Violet, ugly, bullied, and lonely. To be beautiful in her eyes is to have power and love. And when Kendra the Witch teaches Violet how to use magic, she may finally get what she wants. For Celine, beautiful since birth, her looks have been a hindrance. She discovers that beauty is also a threat, especially to her stepmother, Violet, who doesn't want anyone sharing the attention she worked so hard to get, and who will do anything to be the fairest of them all. But beauty isn't only skin deep, and love isn't based on looks alone. Remember that, kids, very important rule. And though Violet and Celine may seem to be completely opposite, their lives are almost. Mirrored by Alex Flynn. So yeah, been getting a little more YA stuff than usual, and so that's nice. And the Green Willow publicists, by the way, are lovely people. Been emailing them. So this is a package. Hooray! It's from the fine folks at Tor.com Publishing, which is not quite Tor Books. This is part of their new novella line. I've already reviewed one of them. I've been getting all of them as electronic copies. They have their own publicist, awesome guy, and I told him, I said, look, this is fine. I love getting the ebook versions, but if you have any physicals to spare, I do this show. And he was like, sweet, I'll send you what I got. So I guess he sent me what he has. This is not everything, but one of them, the first one. Now, as you see, these are short novels and novellas. Very thin, but the idea is to really give these a push. It's kind of a, novellas are kind of coming into vogue as a format for storytelling. But the first of these is Domhnall and the Buried Child. The author is Sylvia Spruck Wrigley, name I don't know. The best and bravest fairies fell in the war against the Slua, and now the council is packed with idiots and cowards. Domhnall is old, aching, and as cranky as they come, but as much as he'd like to retire, he's the best scout the Scythian court has left. When a fey child falls deathly ill, Domhnall knows he's the only one who can get her the medicine she needs, mother's milk. How would he get... I don't want to... I'm scared to contemplate on that. To complete the crib swap, the old scout will face lumbering humans, hungry wolves, and uncooperative sheep, to say nothing of his fellow fae. Okay, so this one's clearly a bit tongue-in-cheek in tone. Domhnall and the Borrowed Child, and this one says it is a November title. And next we have The Last Witness from K.J. Parker, and this is an October title. I've been told I have a forgettable face. Ironic, really. I have a gift. I can browse through the library of your mind and remove individual memories. You'll never know I was there, and you'll never miss what was taken. Useful for grieving widowers, more so for ambitious politicians. But I'm holding so many memories, I'm not always sure which ones are actually mine. Some of them are sensitive, all of them are private, and there are those who are willing to kill to access the secrets I'm trying to bury. And finally, we have this impressive-looking book. This is Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire, big star, and this is an April 2016 release, which makes this the single most advanced copy I think I've ever gotten of anything. Let's see. Eleanor West's home for wayward children. No solicitations, no visitors, no quests. Children have always disappeared under the right conditions, slipping through the shadows under a bed or the back of a wardrobe, tumbling down rabbit holes and into old wells, and emerging somewhere else. But magical lands have little need for used-up miracle children. New girl Nancy's arrival marks a change at the home. There's a darkness just around each corner, and when tragedy strikes, it's up to Nancy and her newfound schoolmates to get to the heart of things, no matter the cost. This little pre-quote here, a pull quote says, "Girl Interrupted meets Grimm's Fairy Tales." So, from Shauna McGuire, in April, Every Heart a Doorway. Okay, and then for the ones that he didn't actually have physical arcs for, he sent me these little postcards. The first of these is Envy of Angels by Matt Wallace. Comes out October 20th. In New York, eating out can be hell. Everyone loves a well-catered event, and the supernatural community is no different. But where do demons go to satisfy their culinary cravings? When a heavenly delicacy is brought to the kitchen, newcomers Lena and Darren put their very souls on the line. Welcome to Sin du Jour, Deviled Eggs, Never Tasted So Wicked. And yeah, I don't have the physical art, but I have got an e-copy that he sent me. As well as The Witches of Lichfurd. This is from Paul Cornell. Now he is best known for the London Falling and Severed Streets, that like dark urban fantasy series. And this is September 8th, so this one's already out. It says, the villagers in the sleepy hamlet of Lichfurd are divided. A supermarket wants to build a major branch on their border. Some welcome the employment opportunities, while some object to the modernization of the local environment. Judith Mawson, a local crank, knows the truth, that Lichfurd lies on the boundary between two worlds, and that the destruction of the border will open wide the gateways to malevolent beings beyond imagination. Now, suburbanites, I assume. But if she is to have her voice heard, she's going to need the assistance of some unlikely allies. And then finally, we have Genre Knots, the Shootout Solution. This comes out November 17th. Leverage meets Jasper Ford in the Genre Knots, a group of storytellers that travel across dimensions to the worlds where genres live, affixing off-track stories to protect Earth. In this episode, the team travels to Western World to stop a bandit posse, a new comedic science fiction series in novella form by the fan-favorite author of the Reyes urban fantasy series, Geekomancy, Celebromancy, Hexomancy. Okay, sorry, don't really know those books, I apologize, but Michael R. Underwood, this comes out November 17th, and apparently the next one comes out in February, and it's called The Absconded Ambassador. So how about that? A whole new novella line from Tor.com Publishing. And this is another HarperCollins package. And it's the final copy of a book that I've already got in ARC form, A Crucible of Souls by Mitchell Hogan. He is an Australian author, and this was an award-winning book over in Australia. But it says, let's see, so this comes out tomorrow, September 22nd. A throwback to old school at its finest. Think Terry Brooks, David Eddings, and Raymond Feist. A captivating tale that combines a fascinating magic system, a malevolent evil, and one man's quest to solve the mystery of his past. Taken in by monks after his parents died, Calden has lived a quite studious life. Though the other students treat him as an outcast charity case, he has a few close friends, and an apt... What the hell is going on, Mouth? I don't know if you can hear, there's this like massive truck noise out behind my house. Hey! I'm recording a video here! Yeah, some people. Alright. Like they have to work for a living. Okay. Anyway, a few close friends and an aptitude for casting that fill his life and give him hope for the future. That hope is destroyed, though, after the monks reveal the brutal truth about his parents' deaths, and now someone is asking questions about them round the monastery. After one terrible incident with a fellow student, Calden is forced to leave the only home he's ever known immediately, with only 2 mysterious heirlooms from his parents and a handful of coins to his name. But the world outside the monastery is more perilous than Calden could ever have imagined, and he must be on his guard at every turn for unknown enemies hunting him and the treasures he doesn't even know he holds. So, Crucible of Souls, award-winning Australian fantasy, comes to American readers tomorrow from Harper Voyager. And this is the final package this week. So let us see what it holds. And it is The Game of Lives. And this is not even really, this is literally bound galleys. As you see, this is not even an arc. It's, well, it's a kind of arc. But this book comes out November 17th, and this is the final book in James Dashner's Mortality Doctrine series, following The Eye of Minds and The Rule of Thoughts, both of which have been sent. As you know, this is the author of the Maze Runner series, and 2 of the movies are out already. Anyway, it's, well, again, 3rd book in a series, so I don't really want to spoil too much. So here you have it, The Game of Lives. If you're a James Dashner fan, this one comes out November the 17th, wrapping up this trilogy. And that is the kind of week I like to see in the mailbag. A whole lot of exciting stuff to show you guys. Gives me no end of pleasure to be able to share all this kind of stuff with you. As usual, you know the drill. Fire up the comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you. Also, before I sign off, I don't want to forget, I did post my very first SFF Retro episode to the channel, you know, where I talk about older books that aren't necessarily classics. But I posted it at a very weird time for me, like Friday evening. So consequently, a lot of you probably missed it, which is why I'm linking it right there, so you can go and watch it right now that the mailbag is done. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a really good old book that you deserve to discover. And as always, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share this video everywhere, and above all, please subscribe. This is how the channel grows. I have a stupid busy week this coming week because in addition to being way behind and needing to finish reading a lot of the books for the September read-alongs for the BookTube SFF Awards, because I'm hosting the live show on the 3rd of October, and I've got something like 5 items still to read. I am also committed to the Fantastic Fest Film Festival that is coming up in Austin this week. I do that every year. It's going to be a very exciting year this year because they are premiering, in addition to a bunch of other awesome stuff, both Ridley Scott's The Martian and the new movie version of High Rise, the J.G. Ballard novel. Looking very much forward to those. I hope I get into those screenings. But, so I have this, in my next 10 days are going to be at a theater, seeing 4 to 5 movies per day, and then coming home and somehow having to read about 4 to 5 books. So, wish me luck. Sleep is going to be a stranger, I think, to me in this time. But thanks as always for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.